Mhuri yeZimbabwe kusangana kwatiri kuita zvakare ipo pano paZim News update apo patinoda kupa ma first hand update anogari kuitika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe. So kana uri mutsva usabve pano usina kusubscribe, kulike nekushare. So tine nyaya yetinayo pano yanyorwa na Lieutenant General Sigauke Mapuranga. Tichaenda kune nhauwa iyo yekutoti wamunangagwa vari kuplana dzekuti wange vachisunga magenerals, because mamwe magenerals pane mamwe asiri kubvisika nyore nyore but havasi kutodiwa, havasi kutodiwa muinstitution yemauto mhuri yeZimbabwe. So tisataenda ikoko tirakumboti mumbonzoka short background kezvinhu zvakataurwa na VP Chiwenga wachabvisa vamugabe. Tiri kuona ndiana SB moyo mamwe magenerals arakazara apa akapera kufa nguva yecorona. Regedzai tinzwe wachitaura panapa mhuri yeZimbabwe, then tozoenda kunhaurwa yaSigauke Mapuranga. Kana uri mutsva usabvawo pano kungoiswa like nekungo hazvibhadhariswi kungosubscribe nekungoiswa like, zvinhu zvisikatombombhadhariswa zvitombodi kana mari kana just only kungo pressawo like pawe pako. So regedzai tinzwe panapa zvichitaurwa.
Therefore, we want to state here and now that the history of our revolution cannot be rewritten by those who have not been part of it. Having said that, we strongly urge the party, 1, to stop reckless utterances by politicians from the ruling party, denigrating the military, which is causing alarm and despondence within the rank and file. 2, the current paging of which is clearly targeting members of the party with a liberation background must stop forthwith. The known counter-revolutionary elements who have fomented the current instability in the party must be exposed and fished out. As the party goes for the extraordinary Congress, members must go with equal opportunity to exercise their democratic rights. Comrades and friends, ladies and gentlemen, we remain committed to protecting our legacy.
Mhuri yeZimbabwe ndofunga tiri kuona ndo zviri kuitika pano apo pakanyorwa kunzi once it becomes clear that ZANU-PF has become a threat of national peace and security, the army shall give advice, for it is the duty of the army to defend the nation against threat both from within and outside. Thank you. Mhuri yeZimbabwe, army yacho ndonzi inofanira kudefenda because army yakaiswa muconstitution kuti kana mapolitician akuita zvinhu zvisina basa, army iripo pakudefenda nepakucontrola zvinhu kuti zvinge zvichifamba mune zvakanaka. Ndosaka muri kuona kuAfrica kuno since from 2021, hatisaverengana Zimbabwe na 2017 akaitika, since from 2021 I think kune nyika 6-7 dzabviswa mapresident, mapolitician abviswa nearmy, ndo basa rearmy ro. So tiri kuona president Emerson Mnangagwa vakabuditsa army muconstitution pabumbiro remutemo uri kugadzirwa naVaziyambe rida kuamendwa riri kusainwa musi wa18 May, ende iri harina reverse, riri kutosainwa mhuri yeZimbabwe, handidi kunyepera, harina reverse. So hatichaendi kucomment section pari zvino. Regedzai tiende kune nhauwa yaLieutenant General Sigauke Mapuranga. Ndofunga tikuwaona ndi big general vari kutaura nhauwa dzavari kutaura pano nepamusoro paVP Chiwenga nekusungwa kuda kuitwa mamwe magenerals. So tiri kuona panapa mhuri yeZimbabwe pakanyorwa kunzi I am informed that there is a plot to assassinate VP Chiwenga and arrest several generals, military generals. I have been asked a question that deserves a serious answer. What did General Constantino Gouveia Dominic Nyikadzino Chiwenga do to deserve this treatment? Now yakutoti mageneral vari ku deserve treatment inaurwa paivigwa magamba mairi kuHeroes Acre pakabuda nhauwa dzekutoti pasi necorruption because government iri kunyatsozikanwa kuti iri kuita corruption. So ndo pakatanga nyaya though nyaya dzatagara dzichikikiritsika chichidza dzatanga kudhara but ndo padzakazonyatsa kutotanga chaiko. So tikuona pana pakanyorwa kunzi let me answer the question with a precision it deserves and with the historical record as my witness. General Constantino Chiwenga did one thing about all others on the night of the 14th of November 2017, he walked into a television studios in military uniform surrounded by 4 command structures of the ndofunga taona video racho ndo pazvakaitika ndati ndiende kunotora video racho nditange kumbokuratidza zvakaitika then tobva tadzouya kune nhau wayanyuwa nhasi general retired general Winston Sigauke. So tiri kuona panapa mhuri yeZimbabwe vari kutaura iwo kutoti he walked into a television studio in 2017 in uniform surrounded by 4 command structures of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, and he read a statement that changed the history of this country. He put his life, his career, his freedom and the lives of every general standing behind him on the line of one man. He did not do it for personal gain. He did it because he believed in a transition, he believed in a project, he believed in a promise. That is what General Chiwenga did. Muri yeZimbabwe tofunga tiri kuzoona zvakataurwa nawamunangagwa mazuva ekutanga ka even panakada painauguration yawo yemuna 2017 nezviri kutoitike zvinoizvika zvinhu zvekutoti uri kuindicata left uchido turn right zvitori opposite cheche zvitori opposite but tiri kuona kuti Restore Legacy yanga ine chinangwa chekutoti waMugabe wakomberedzwa nematsotsi akati one day ndosaka pakaitwa Restore Legacy corruption yanga yati one day. So tiri kuona vamunangagwa vakauya vachiti vada kumisa zvinhu zvese izvozvo obva vazotoya kutoita worse, and so ndo zviri kunyovedza kunyorwa panapa naGeneral Sigauke mapuranga. Tiri kuona panapa pakanyorwa kunzi a man does not survive multiple hospitalization, export, lose sufficient physical capacity and image visibly dismissed from what he was without something serious having been done to him. Ask in with healthy political environment, does a sitting vice president nearly die under mysterious circumstances, and the matter of simply absorbed into the news cycle and forgotten. The delivered November 2017 on a promise. The promise was not kept, and the man who delivered in has been paying the price ever since. Tukona panapa muri yeZimbabwe pakanyorwa kunzi look at the command structure today, look at who has been retired, look at who has been repositioned, promoted out of the operational relevance and quietly moved sideways. Map that careers of officers known to be closed to General Chiwenga against the careers of officers known to be aligned with the presidents. The pattern is not suitable. It does not require intelligent sources. It is visible to anyone who has spent time inside this institution and knows how to read a gazette notice. When an institution systematically removes sidelines and neutralized the professional network of the second in the command, that is not a remote rotation, that is the architects of isolation. Muri yeZimbabwe ndofunga ndo patambogumira pano nhau dzacho dzinenge dzakati chi dzinenge dzakati rebe, ndofunga muri kuona dzakadzika kwesoko, but nhau iripo ndeye kutoti vamunangagwa varikuda kunge vari vano pedzera mauto afunga asibvona vamunangagwa pfungwa dziri kutobva. Ndofunga muri kuona naTemba muliswa kanzi be careful because zvinhu zvinenge zvinomira zvakanaka, zvinhu anenge ari ma1 checheu panenge pari kutopisa muri yeZimbabwe. So tira kuti timbonzwe makomboredi vari kutaura pano, vari kupatsanura nyaya, tinzwe kuti vari kudzipatsanura sei nhauwa idzodzo muri yeZimbabwe, then tozongokuzivise kuti chii chiri kuitika. So kana uri mutswa usabve pano usina kusubscribe, kulike nekushare kuitira petinenge tichiisa next update musazorasikirwe nezvinenge zvichiitika muno munyika yeZimbabwe.
Okay, we had that activity where the Zimbabwean dollar lost 75% of its value in one day.
Yes, true.
And not in one day, such, but in a matter of hours.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was
Because
because of the gratuity, of veterans. Yes, I remember.
yes, because it was unbudgeted,
It was
right?
not budgeted. Yes, you're right.
Now I want to take you straight from that point. Zimbabwe entered into DRC war,
Yes.
where they were spending an expenditure of 1 million per day, $1 million US, not Zimbabwean dollar, $1 million US per day, in a country that was borrowing from IMF, World Bank, and other Paris Club by that time. So now, when they went to DRC, they were using people's money, people's resources for 7 mines of diamonds that were in DRC. And this is the same time when FBC was formed, right? All right. So now, I'm just trying to point out to you so that you know that Zimbabwe has been abusing people's money for a long time. I'm not talking about 2025 or 2026. I want to talk specifically.
Let me correct you on that. You see what happened that time then? There was no budget provision for the war in the DRC, but there was upfront payment by the DRC government. And there was also barter trade that was supposed to follow. But then that was the times of General Shinavashi, remember? And now the military took over all the operations. Literally, the military would do, that's when we created these monsters, the Chiwengas and the others. They could come here with a plane load of gold, diamonds, and sell them. You remember that's when this movie even was produced by Leonardo DiCaprio, where they said they were not referring necessarily to Sierra Leone, but it was within the region. So we made a lot of money. There was enough money to pay back our military expense. It was literally times when Zimbabwe was chair of SADC organ on defense, and Mugabe was the chair. And they actually pushed all other SADC members out, and Zimbabwe did it alone. Nana Kenel Daik and a good colleague or somebody that I know, he was also contracted to provide military rations. And that guy, you remember, he collapsed at the Minister of Finance, a guy called David Chapika. He was so yes, you're right. In fact, it was public funds that was used at the end, not the money allocated or so. But they were supposed to get money from SADC. And they were also supposed to be getting payment. All expenses were supposed to be paid by the DRC, because Zimbabwe then they went on to pick up a little bit of forces from Angola and a bit of forces from Namibia, if I'm not mistaken. But majorly it was a Zimbabwean operation, which was a private operation at the end of it. It was not bilateral, multilateral. It was really individuals benefiting, the army mostly. And this guy was also Minister of Defense during that time, the current president of Zimbabwe.
Remember, Mdaraji, during that time, there were some people that benefited from this activity. It's not only the army generals, because the army generals, when they went to DRC, they established they came from Zimbabwe with one company called Osleg. When they reached DRC, they formed a GV, a joint venture, which was called Kosleg, because Osleg was from Zimbabwe. Kosleg now was a GV. All right. Remember, some of these companies changed to Rusununguko, and Rusununguko, one of the shareholders was Sibusiso Moyo. All right, for your own information.
SB Moyo. Yes, I know.
So now you can see now how these guys are now they have used public resources, government money, or people's money for some time. So it doesn't becomes a problem now to them, because remember, chatova chijairira kana wajaira kuba handitika
Unotogara
une
uchingoba.
nyora dzinoita kuti ube dzine dzakutokuvava kuti iwe shamwari iba, right? I'm just trying to explain this so that everyone knows how it works. Kana wajaira kutora chunhu hazvichatyisi handiti. Then go back to the banker that you were talking about to say, okay, he's a banker. But do you know that before hyperinflation, after 2005, or let me say between 2003 to 2008, before that during that period, there was an activity called kubhena mari kwaitwa namabankers, including your own banker, right?
Yes.
Including your own banker of your choice. Wamataura iye.
Yes.
He was part of this kubhena mari. Right?
Ask the banker of my choice. Ask the banker of my choice.
No, I'm just trying to say Wamumenshena, and I'm not saying he's your friend,
yes.
because I know that you are, he's not your friend. But I'm just trying to say, look at it this way, to say this guy has been there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing all these sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, it means this guy had already access to power, because when he was doing all these things, who was sanctioning him to do it?
I can tell you who was. Let me tell you what he did, this guy. This guy, Anoti Iye, he had been sent on government business to Equatorial Guinea, Navamu Gabe. And whilst he was on the plane, he thought very deep about improving agricultural productivity in the country. Then he thought about command agriculture.
But if you base on what I have said, then that becomes a latest. Let me say something of some few years ago. Because if you go back to DRC war, people who benefited from this is one, army generals, two, the person who was at the center